If you are serious about leveling up in your life and stepping into your most excellent version of yourself, then it's time to drop those sneaky habits and patterns that are holding you back. You see, what got you here won't get you there. And to do this, you must be willing to see yourself through a magnifying glass, to see and hear yourself way deeper than ever before and face the truth about what you need to change. Hey, it's Star Monroe here from the Star Monroe Show, all things main character energy, so you can strut through the world confident, unbothered, and exclusive. Now, I already alluded to it in the introduction about living an excellent life, and I'm here to live my most excellent life. And one of the mantras that I keep saying to myself over and over again is I want to see what is possible for me. So, with that being said, last year I found myself, and I've told this story before, so I'll keep it short. Last year I found myself on my veranda in my apartment in Turkey. I moved to Turkey a couple of years ago from the UK. It was one of my dreams to do this. So, as I sat there last year, I looked around and I was like, is this it? Is this really it? And there was a little voice inside me and it said, no, this is not it. And there is more for you. Now, there are many lessons that I have learned to get to this information that I'm going to share with you now. And it's probably best for me to share that in another podcast. I know now that I am a woman who is not here to settle. I am here to expand, to continuously evolve. And as I always say, human beings, we are rolling waves of consciousness designed to hit the shores on who we are with no fixed identity. Now, as you do that, and as I do that, and you're definitely going to be a woman to do that if you hate the idea of settling. What that does, it brings up a new set of fears over and over again, and it asks you to continuously evolve and continuously look at yourself deeper and deeper and root out your conditioning that is keeping you doing what got you here. Because what got you here, as I've already said, will not get you there. So last year, when I had this revelation, oh, I'm not here to settle, there is more. I was like, oh, okay. And then I came to this conclusion that I've got to take myself seriously and I've got to take everything I do seriously. And when I say I take myself seriously and I take everything I do seriously, there's still a playful edge to that. I love moving and sashaying in the art of the paradox. So even though I take myself seriously, I can still be very playful with it. So I looked around my life and I was like, oh, things have got to change. And I noticed some reoccurring patterns that were happening with me. So I divorced a couple of years ago. And I think it was at the end of 2022, I decided to start dating again. And that brings me up into late spring 2023. And I looked around at what I was doing in the dating world and I said to myself, you're doing the same thing. You meet random men, you end up going out with them, drinking too much, and then sleeping with them, waking up in the morning with regret. And the other thing that was happening at the same time, because when you have this willingness to look at yourself differently, you're going to start to see different patterns appear in all sorts of different realms of your life. I was in the gym and I was on the treadmill and I was minding my own business, although I wasn't minding my own business, because I noticed this quiet voice in the back of my mind. It was like, oh, I wonder if he's looking at me, and I wonder if he's looking at me. And I'd already had this revelation around dating. I kept doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And then I had this revelation in the gym. I was like, oh, I want everyone to validate me. I want all these men to look at me. And so I stopped the treadmill, and remember this as clear as day. I got off the treadmill and I said to myself, bitch, you need to see yourself. You need to stop seeking external validation, and you need to focus on yourself. And so this started a whole little snowball into why I was dating. And I realized I was dating because I was lonely. Living as a solo woman in Turkey, I was lonely. I was a little bit bored with my life. I wasn't pushing myself to my full potential. I was also seeking that validation from dating. And I knew that this had to go. It was a pattern that had to go. And so what I did was make myself consciously single. So I chose to be consciously single. And then I dove deep into the world of decentering men. And I realized that I was putting men on a pedestal. I was putting men up there kind of to validate me, to kind of fill a void inside me. And I knew this at a level, and yet I got it at a deeper level. So I really went into the world of decentering men. And at the time last year, I was teaching a beautiful course called The Love Affair, where I was teaching women and myself, because every time I teach myself, um, the art of dating yourself, the art of being your own best friend, the art of being your own exquisite lover. So I was supplementing my new choices in life with new information and actually taking action on it. And if I fast track to me today, and I'm over a year on since I had all these revelations, and also I'm 2 years into living in Turkey on my own, I have created a life on my terms. I mean, I've always lived a life on my terms. And yet, for the majority of my life, I did that because I thought there was something wrong with me. Now, I spent the decade of my 40s going in deep, healing those wounded parts of me, reparenting my inner child, my rebel teen. So they can all lay down their swords and rest. They no longer have to protect me, and they no longer have to go out into the world to fight my battles. Me, the version of me that is talking to you on this podcast, I fight my own battles. I choose how to move through the world, the mature version of me. And so I'm much more self assured. I know who I am, and my relationship with men has completely changed. I no longer look outside myself for validation or acceptance, because I accept and validate myself, which makes me being around men so much easier. I always say that when you have a void inside you, then men, especially, and women, men especially, will sniff that out, and they will take advantage of it, and they will manipulate you. They sniff and sense your neediness. And I don't have that anymore. And that's a power that I believe with my heart and soul that all women need to have. You need to serve your own needs. You need to never abandon yourself. So, moving on from this and within this, I also last year, and this is the power of doing the inner work, because if you want your external world to shift, if you want better relationships, if you want more wealth, if you want to travel more freedom, more time, you want a better relationship with yourself, you want to be able to communicate your needs, you want to be a woman who commands respect, then it all starts and ends with your inner world. And if I do a snapshot of that, that is your belief systems, which sit in your subconscious, your thoughts and your words, which A, you speak inside your mind, and B, you utter out of your mouth. I always say you want to make sure what comes out of your mouth are rubies and diamonds and emeralds and sapphires and not sillage and dust and just crap, basically. So, and then also the inner world is you getting a handle on your emotional landscape, because if you don't get a handle on your emotions, and look, between you and I, you're no longer 20. You don't get away with this anymore. I'm 53. We are mature women and we need to step up. We need to demand excellence of ourselves, which means that we have to become mistresses, I call it the empress of your emotions. You are able to communicate way easier. You're able to handle yourself in conflict with so much more grace and aplomb. So, if I come back to what I was saying, as I was doing this work and up leveling myself, demanding more of myself by decentering men, centering myself, and stopping dating, becoming consciously single, I was talking into existence the woman I wanted to become. And the woman I wanted to become was a woman of high standards, a woman of high value, a woman of worth, because a woman who knows her worth, she will always get what she wants. Your frequency changes when you know your worth. Now, I come from a history of doubting my self worth, and I understand that when you are born into this world, as am I, you have an inherent sense of worthiness and value. And yet, if you're not cultivating that through your choices and your actions in life, you will erode and corrode your sense of self worth. So, it is of the utmost importance as you sashay through your late 40s and 50s that you plug back in to you cultivating a deeper sense of self worth. So, I was writing this all out into my morning pages. I want to become a woman of high value. I want to become a woman who knows she's worthy. I want to become a woman who is the prize. And then I turn it round. I'm like, well, what is this woman? How does she move? How does she dress? How does she smell? What does she eat? How does she wake up? How does she go to bed? What habits does she have? What habits do not hang on. Getting excited, my words are spitting out. What habits does she no longer do because they no longer serve her? And one of those that popped up for me was, this woman, she's a woman who does not drink alcohol. Ah. And so I kept writing it in. And I know because I've done this work many, many, many times. And yet there is a depth to my skill set now. I know where to tweak and where to take myself. And so I knew I had to focus on what I wanted. So I know, I assume with my heart and soul that this woman is me. I'm sashaying into her. I get to become her today, not next year, not next month, not in 5 years' time. I get to be her now. So I kept writing into my morning pages, I'm a woman who does not drink. I am a woman who does not drink. I am a woman who is happily single. I am a woman who is consciously single. I am a woman who validates herself. You see, the words you say to yourself over and over again are a self fulfilling prophecy, and you are putting yourself under a spell. So you better be putting yourself under a spell that is leading you into your excellence and not down into your spiral of despair. So, the other thing that I know from sashaying on this earth for 53 years is that change takes time. And I am not to look at external markers, anything outside me, as an indicator of whether things are working or not working. I focus 100% on my inside world. I continued to talk about becoming a woman who didn't drink. And at the time, I was drinking maybe 2 or 3 glasses of wine in the evening. And yet I kept writing in my morning pages, I am a woman who does not drink. Now, I started this back in September 23, September. And I did this religiously. And I still write this out in my morning pages in various different formats now. Morning pages is a staple, it's a non negotiable. It is a date with my inner world every single day. And here's the deal. You want to live a life of excellence. You want to raise your standards. You want to become a woman who knows her worth and always gets what she wants. You cannot afford to get complacent at the wheel of yourself or life. Complacency will take you back down your old pathways. So for me, if I got complacent on myself, I would have gone back and started dating again, doing exactly the same thing. And also, I probably would not have continued on this journey of becoming a woman who does not drink. Now, as I entered into 2024, the 1st of January, I said to myself, I am a woman who does not drink, and I stopped drinking. Now, it has not been easy. It's been challenging. And I knew how challenging it was going to be because I have given up drinking before. In fact, I taught myself how not to be an alcoholic back in 2015. So I've dabbled with this. I've dabbled with this and I knew what was coming my way. And I knew not to get too excited about this. And also, I didn't really talk about it to anybody. I kept it to myself. Here's one thing, please do this. Stop telling everyone your business. Stop telling everyone how you're going to change. Stop telling everybody what you want. Keep it to yourself and your morning pages. Keep it to yourself and your morning pages. You see, when we start to share things with people, people will add their opinions, people will add their thoughts onto it. And the thing is, what you've got to understand is whenever you are going to change, you're going to lead a life of excellence, there is always seeds of self doubt. Your job is to weed out those self doubts every single day in your morning pages and throughout the day by challenging your thought process. It's a skill. This is why high flying, successful 50 plus women hire me as their concierge psychotherapist and master life coach because we need to be kept accountable to doing things differently. Remember, what got you here won't get you there. What got you here won't get you there. So you need to really focus on who you are becoming. You need to drill down and talk who you are becoming into existence and keep it to yourself and challenge your self doubts. So, coming back to this year where I stopped drinking, yeah, there's been many ups and downs, many times where I've wanted to drink, and yet the mantra that I inserted into my life in September 2023, I'm a woman who does not drink. I'm a woman who does not drink, serves me well because that is now one of my root core beliefs because I said it so often every single day, day in, day out, since September 23. It has become that a part of me. I am a woman who does not drink. So every time I'm like, oh, I just have a drink, I'm like, you are a woman who does not drink. And yes, you need I was going to say it's not willpower you need. You need discipline. You need discipline and you need consistency and you need to be persistent. And you need also, I've always said it before, you need to be able to manage your emotional equilibrium because I'm sure as much as I used to, if I got stressed out, life was getting on top of me. Oh, a nice glass of Sauvignon Blanc. Oh, will take all my troubles away, except they wouldn't. But it would for that moment. The other thing as well about maturing is it's about stop looking for the quick fix and start looking for longevity. Start looking at what you're doing in your life and look at it from a longer point of view. You know, if I carried on doing this, where's this going to be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? So if I speed all the way up to where I am now, what are we in? June 2024. I am a woman who does not drink. I am a woman who is consciously single. I am a woman who validates herself. I am a woman who has more confidence than ever before. I am a woman who can face her fears. This is your thing with your fears, right? When you get out of your comfort zone, when you're doing different things. You've got to be able to navigate your fears, because your fears are your self doubts, and your self doubts, if you let them, will pull you back into the path of least resistance, and that is going back into what got you here. You see why it's imperative that you work with someone, you hire someone who can see and hear you way deeper than you can, because you can only see yourself to the level that you can see yourself. And there are always deeper layers. And what I know, because I have been traveling to the depths of who I am for many, many, many years, is when I think I know who I am, I'm like, oh, no, there's another layer. There's another layer. Oh, there's another way to look at life. Oh, there's another way to think. There's another way to act. So it's from this, it's a reminder for you to stay open minded, open hearted. You always want to keep a fence around that heart, though, so you protect it, or a red velvet rope, as I say. So you're protecting yourself, your time, and your energy. If no one else is going to protect your time and energy, no one is here to save you. And conversely, no one is here to save you from yourself. You ultimately have to save yourself from yourself. And it is a decision by you going, oh, I want to do things differently. A side note on the drinking as well, the not drinking, my skin is amazing. I look younger. I My body dropped, I think it was about 14 or 20 pounds, and that was from not drinking. My digestion system is working much better. I don't get any night sweats. I sleep well. And I I feel like I'm at the other side of menopause, or at perimenopause. Yeah, I've always said this around menopause, life changes. Look, it's not a problem. It's only a problem if you think it's a problem. It's actually a door opening up into you cultivating a deeper relationship with yourself. And menopause, perimenopause is asking you to step up. It's asking you to take better care of yourselves. We are a day closer to dying every single day. We are coming towards the end of our lives, and my body is decaying, and it can no longer do what it used to do. So it needs extra TLC, it needs extra attention. And so this is a reminder. If you're always in everyone else's business, if you're always wondering what everyone else is doing, and you're not looking at yourself deeper, and you're not willing to see or hear yourself deeper, then no, nothing is going to change. You're going to keep on repeating the same thing over and over again. And I know that you're not a woman who does that. You're a woman who is here to expand, to evolve, to grow, to confront old patterns. You've definitely got to decenter men. Every single woman needs to decenter men, take them off the pedestal. You got to be willing to live a life of excellence. And I'm not here to tell you whether to stop drinking. That is entirely up to you. All I can say from my personal choice is it is working for me, and I take it a day by day, and it's working. It's challenging. I've got to find different ways to decompress, to take good care of myself, and I'm learning that. And I was only talking to one of my high level clients earlier today. She was like, oh, I'm doing the work, but it's not working. I was like, I can hear what you're saying. It's like you think by doing XYZ, you're going to get an end result, and nothing, and your fears will go away. I said, no, it's a process. You're in a constant process where you have to learn how to manage yourself with a higher set of skills and emotional intelligence, so you can handle whatever comes your way. Your fears will not stop coming, especially if you're a woman who wants to get out of her comfort zone and lead a bold, brilliant life. And your job is to be able to manage yourself as you put yourself out there. And all I can say to this is I am a woman who is fully living my life. And I can only see life getting better, bolder, more flamboyant, more brilliant. And I can see myself becoming the most excellent version of myself, aligned with my genius, my authenticity. And this is what life is asking you to do too. If you would like to take this journey a little deeper, then why not download my ebook, Main Character Energy Upgrade Your Midlife, and or my mini program, Amplify Your Confidence. And indeed, if you are ready for the next level and you are looking for personal concierge, psychotherapy, and life coaching to accompany you as you progress and level up into excellence, then apply to work with me. Everything you need is in the show notes. Until next time, stay absolutely fabulous.